And good morning. This is Things You May Not Have Heard, where we'll present to you in a moment yesterday's latest in information, politics, current events, and pop culture. We are your go to supplemental source for both mainstream and unconventional news stories that you might have missed, with a little added context while attempting to keep you in the conversation with people around the world you may not get a chance to debate. My name is Jay Clifton Payne, and as the teaser graphic shows, we're going to talk about the submersible that was looking for the Titanic that we're now looking for, plus 7 other news stories from the past day that were vetted by U.S. Conversational and then crafted by me into this report coming here. Today happens to be Tuesday, 20th of June, 2023. And now let's get into those stories. We'll explain more about the vetting processes and other things going on. I want to quickly remind you that our main website is a conversationproject.com. Stop by there for more details about what we do all day, all weekend, all the time here at the Conversation Project. Story number one, as we stated, is this one here. Headline reads: a search and rescue operation is underway for a submarine touring the wreckage of the Titanic. Officials are scouting the ocean surface and using sonar underneath to find a submersible that was basically lost contact with the world about 2 miles under the ocean, about right around the range where the Titanic is. This submersible is holding about 5 people, we believe. Now, they've not been confirmed by the company that runs it, but many news sources have found that a billionaire who runs these things, also a oceanographer, is also there as well, and many people who are kind of important and, as you would say, kind of rich are down there surveying the Titanic. It's a very expensive kind of trip to take on, which is why people of that stature have to go on it, because it's, you know, to pay for it. And the big thing right now is they're stuck somewhere. And when they last lost contact with them, they assumed they had about 92 to 70 hours worth of air, about 4 days worth of air at tops, with about 12 hours lost of time with them going forward. Excuse me. We shall see if we can find them in time and if they can rescue them, because remember, they're 2 miles underwater, so they are pressurized, so saving them is going to be a bit of an issue where they are. This one may get you a little queasy, but bear with me. Hostess faces $298,000 fine after workers' fingertips severed. Let me get you the quick details on this one. The U.S. Department of Labor has blamed Hostess Brands for an amputation and accused the company of failing to secure other manufacturing equipment to safeguard against injuries. What happened? A worker, while working there, had a piece of his body cut off, a piece of his finger, if you will. The company said it's reviewing the allegations, which is an option. Is an option of the contesting of it. We shall see whether they're going to blame the equipment or blame the person going forward. But right now, Hostess was of course had to fight itself way back out of basically non-existence, having an issue that may challenge its existence with this lawsuit. Ford, Chrysler, and Hyundai are among more than 979,000 vehicles that are recalled. USA Today gave us a story, so check out the story in the link of the description so you can go deeper into this one. Many different brands from many different categories, so it's kind of hard to kind of give you a sort of just a smattering of them. But Ford, Chrysler, and Hyundai, which, yes, they do have many vehicles that are basically the same brand, the same body with different names, have about 979,000 vehicles recalled, almost a million vehicles being recalled. Check check the websites for us. Check other, if you have one of these cars. Many things, including everything from regular vehicles to vans to trucks, are being called in. So check it out for what's going on. There are various different things going on. So see what's going on with your car and see if your car needs to be brought in. This is a story we've been tracking for a few days. Singer Bebe Rexha collapses to ground after being struck in the head by a fan's phone. That's essentially what happened. A concert in New York recently, Rexha was performing and a phone just flies out of the person's hand. Maybe it was tossed, maybe it was just sort of let go. Crew member rushed on stage to her aid as the phone hit her in the face and knocked her down. One fan from Twitter said, "Absolutely great show, ruined by a fan throwing their phone at Bebe Rexha." While another wrote, "We are all having a hell of a good time, and so was Bebe. Hope you're okay." Screenshots of the incident are all over the internet. They have found the person. He is being charged. I'm not sure if it's a he, but the person who tossed the phone is being charged with this as an assault, as one would expect. And we're, of course, hoping for the best for Miss Rexha. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay from this one, but very scary moment in the moment as it went down. Cute one we picked up on as we were wrapping up yesterday and getting things into the feeds, and you guys responded to this one. Dachshund owners on track to break Guinness World Record in Melbourne. We'll get back to the Guinness folks in a bit, but right now the Dachshund, the wiener dogs, had a chance to break an organized event where they wanted to get over 2,000 dogs, 2,000 specifically wiener dogs, together for a mass walking. The record stands at 1,029 dogs, and I believe they're by beagles, set in 2018. So they wanted to give some love to the wiener dogs and show the beagles a thing or two. There's not been any confirmation on this one being broken yet, but we'll have some more Guinness, the records kinds, not the beer kind, in this update for this morning. So hang tight for that. Here's a story that I have a little bit of a personal connection to because I got to meet this man at a play he did many years ago, and got a chance to sit down afterwards and sort of do the whole chat on a small one-man theater play. He has a play called Halley's Comet, when Halley's Comet was coming through, and so I got to sit and talk to him for a while on this one. But one of my favorite actors from childhood, and this is a very sad case of what happens as time goes by. The headline reads, John Amos's daughter Shannon's GoFundMe page removed. This is a bit bigger than just a GoFundMe page. Let me read some details from our robot editor that we have here. The GoFundMe page created by Shannon Amos to raise $500,000 for her father, John Amos, has been taken down shortly after the Good Times and Roots actor star accused her of elder abuse. Shannon previously wrote on Instagram that she was receiving a distressing call from her father and was working with the Colorado Bureau of Investigations to protect his future. John alleged that his mother had abused him. He said he was definitely a case of elderly abuse. John has since told people that he is doing well and that the GoFundMe campaign should stop. He added that he was not in ICU and nor was he fighting for his life. So there's a lot of confusion in the details in the story that aren't going to be cleared up on the bits and pieces we're having right now. Someone's got to really put some real effort into this one. Yeah, we're dealing with some Ukraine stuff and some tornado stuff and some hurricane stuff. So some of that stuff may not get the effort that we'd like to see. But I really love to see someone go deeper into this story on John Amos. Like I said, personal connection because I met the guy and spoke with him for a little bit, like many people have. But this is one that we hate to see. Elder abuse in any case. You get to see someone that's famous going through a struggle, and family issues are not what really make the world go round these days. This is cool. Ancient Roman temple complex, the ruins of building where Caesar was stabbed, opens to tourists. Rome has opened the complex where basically the Senate held state 100,000 million years ago. This is literally the place where Caesar was stabbed by Brutus and said the famous "Et tu, Brutus," during that whole occasion. The Ides of March has essentially started in this spot right here. Tourists have now had a chance to see this place as open space as of yesterday. So if you're in Rome and this is one of the things that you would like to see in a bucket list, a newer bucket list because it wasn't available before, go check this one out. I said we were back to Rubik's and we're back to Guinness. And now we are thanks to the Rubik's Cube, plus a few other things. The headline read, Max Park solves Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds, setting new world record. American Max Park had set a new world record for solving a Rubik's Cube 3.13 seconds. Now, the 20-year-old achieved the feat in an event in Long Beach, California over the weekend. According to the records folks who were there on hand, his previous record was around 7 seconds, and the previous record on the nation was 3.4 seconds. So it didn't take much to beat it, but it took a whole lot to beat it. Now, Max himself deals with autism, so his parents were in an interview said he doesn't really get that, it was there, but it took him a while to sort of deal with just other things. It took him a long time just to learn how to open water bottles, but the Rubik's Cube, the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, is something he took to pretty much the heart. He now holds the world record for that. Other records broken recently include Hilda Baki, who's 26, completed the longest cooking marathon with a time of 93 hours and 11 minutes, breaking the previous record of 87 hours and 45 minutes set by Lata Todo of India. That was broken from 2019. And also Johnny Miller lifted 2,492.4 pounds by dumbbell curls in 1 minute in December. So it's been a while since this one was recorded, but this one's done. Breaking the Guinness World Record. He used 40-pound weights and tested out various amounts of weights to find the sweet spot. 2,492.4 pounds by dumbbell curls in a minute. That's that much weight in a minute. Not sure why this is even relevant, but hey, the Guinness folks are staying relevant because we're talking about them today. This right here is what we call a teaser story. This story is one that we could talk about tomorrow if you deem it conversational. Now, how does the conversation part work? It's actually very simple. What you do is you go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/th_conversation. At those websites and on those feeds, we call them, because we are feeding into them news stories about every 50 minutes. So you can see the story, the stories that we're working on to work on. And we work on them to see what you think about them. The more engagement a story gets, the higher score it gets in the morning, and we pull it and arrange to talk about. We will pull 8 of the top 15 stories tomorrow, present to you just like we did today. What we could talk about is this one from USA Today. Their headline reads, "Judge bars Donald Trump from publicly sharing evidence in secret documents case." That sounds sort of like a no-brainer, but we are talking about Donald Trump. And the judge has officially barred Trump and his co-defendant from talking about and sharing any evidence from the secret documents case. There's a lot of things involved, and basically his lawyers are getting security clearance so they can deal with the cases. They can actually see them with their lawyers, but they can't, take them home in boxes and leave in bathrooms or something to that effect. If you want to talk this one up tomorrow, just go to our feeds and let me know, and we will do it because it is about you. This one is about you, but it's also about us. We're going to talk about one of our sponsors, and we're picking today to talk about Hostage Tape. Hostage Tape is a sponsor we've taken on in the past couple of months that people giggle when they hear about it or they see it in the video ads, but it really is a very good product that you need to check out. Hostage Tape is tape. It's flexible tape. It's breathable tape, literally breathable tape, so that you can put it over your mouth, such as a hostage, but it does not keep you from, speaking per se. It really keeps you from breathing out of your mouth so that you can breathe through your nose for better circulation of air, better breathing habits and will. There's a picture, if you're watching the video, of a man who's running who has it on his mouth, so he's not breathing through his mouth, he's breathing through his nose for better air. When you're sleeping at night, if you have issues with congestion or things like that, I wouldn't say sleep apnea because that's a whole new mask, but maybe just a little bit of hostage tape to keep your mouth closed as opposed to a piece of Band-Aid keeping your nose open. It may help you out as well. The biggest thing people use this for is snoring issues and breathing and sleeping at night. Go to our website, thisisaconversationproject.com, and visit Hostage Tape, or go to thisisaconversationproject.com/hostage tape and get on the deal right now. They will take good care of you. Don't giggle, don't laugh. Check it out. It's a great product. You will see, and it may save you some stress, some health, and maybe your marriage if you're one of those snoring type people. Check it out at The Conversation Project. Go to our sponsors page and visit many of our other sponsors. They are all affiliate links there that help us keep things going here. But we are spotlighting one that has done us some really good this season as we've joined them on. Check them out. Don't laugh. It's called Hostage Tape. Now, The Conversation Project lives online at thisisaconversationproject.com, where we provide for you, as we said earlier, the latest in information, talk, and news, as we call ourselves, your news side piece, because we're a supplemental source. We're not a main source, and we like to give you stories that are a bit off the beaten path, mixed in with some stories that are really big. So we covered today the submarine. We also covered the Guinness World Book of Records, and we also will cover, I'm assuming we'll cover, Donald Trump and his dealing with his court stuff as he pops up fairly frequently because you guys want to talk about it. If you guys want to help us talk more stuff about more stuff, and help us talk, I guess, go to the website, thisisaconversationproject.com. Click on the link for partnerships and find ways to directly hook up with us. You may want to join us for a subscription of coffees. You get us on a monthly subscription. We may have a one-time drop of cash. We will take it in various forms, various links to make that happen. Go to our website, thisisaconversationproject.com, and click the partnerships page and let us know if we are doing good enough to help with that. Of course, the most important thing you can do is follow us on our feeds and just share this with other people so we have more people in the conversation and more people telling us, what we should be talking about. But the partnership stuff definitely helps bunches. Now, We do this thing after all the newsy stuff. We call it the fun stuff. And let's get to the fun stuff. Starting off with birthdays for this day. The day being June the 20th, 2023. On the 23rd, the year of the 2000th century or whatnot. We're celebrating birthday wishes for Lionel Richie, who is 74 years old on the day. Also, John Goodman, who's 71 years old today. And Nicole Kidman, turning 54. Nicole Kidman, not married to Carl Urban, who had a birthday a few weeks ago, but to the other Urban, Keith Urban, the other guy. 50. He's not 56. He's a bit younger, if you will. But Nicole Kidman still making it happen at 56 years old on this day. Going back in history on this day, going back to celebrate things happening on the 20th of June, going back to 1967, boxer Muhammad Ali was convicted in Houston of violating selective services laws by refusing to be drafted. The Supreme Court later overturned the conviction. Of course, this is famous that Muhammad Ali said he wasn't going to Vietnam because he wasn't going to fight no yellow man. He had no problem with them. Of course, at the time, as the draft was up, and he was pulled. Well, some people may think he may have been pulled because some strings were pulled. That's not a great thing. Also happening in 1994, also not so much a great thing, O.J. Simpson pleaded not guilty to the slayings of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and waiter Ron Goldman. This brought us a whole lot of O.J. for a whole summer and for our lives living through this. This is a prime example of a person who was literally riding high, living their prime, living their best life, ruined it, whether you believe he ruined it directly or not, and continues to ruin it this day by just being a creep. Sometimes your heroes are actually kind of bad people, and why it's sometimes not the greatest thing in the world to meet your heroes. And in 2013, Instagram first offered users the ability to upload videos to its service. Happy birthday, Instagram, or Instagram as it is. For this one, happy birthday to videos on Instagram, I guess you will. That's only been 10 years since you could put videos on Instagram. For whatever reason, maybe because I'm getting kind of older, or we're getting kind of older, or things after a while just seem like the norm. It seems like this stuff has been here forever. But you have to remember the iPhone is actually only about 12, 13 years old, and smartphones themselves, in whatever iteration, Blackberries and whatnot, not quite 20s, or maybe right around 20 years old. So you have to take that in consideration. Sometimes these things that are history get kind of lost in the fact that they're actually history. Let's talk about a celebration for the day. We're going to celebrate vanilla milkshake today. Why? Because it's vanilla milkshake day, not chocolate, not strawberry, not Jamocha. It's vanilla. And there's nothing wrong with a vanilla milkshake. The absolutely basic milkshake right there. It's some vanilla, it's some milk, it's some ice cream. It's stirred up really, really big, and you go and gulp it down perfectly. Don't fight it. Just go get a vanilla milkshake. Don't try to fuss out because you think it's boring. Vanilla is not boring. Vanilla is awesome. Get yourself a vanilla milkshake on this day. And finally, one more thing you might not have heard. Loud environments like concerts, clubs, and sporting events aren't well suited for conversations with your friends. You may have figured it out already. But if you exchange words in a few words, try plugging your ears and speaking in a normal voice. It's suggested that you gently stick your finger in your ears to help filter out the background music and make it easier to focus on your friends and saying what they're saying nearby. Though you may need to speak directly into their ears, if you speak in a normal tone, it should work. When you yell, your vocal frequency more closely matches the music in the background and gets lost in the blend. But you might have a better time and could maybe have a detailed discussion if you speak in a very just normal tone to the person. Try that out the next time at a concert. I don't think I'll be at a concert where I'm standing near the speakers anytime soon because I'm kind of too old for that stuff. I've grown out of it. I like quiet, so I can have a great conversation with folks because I can sit in the quiet and just yell at people to turn down their music because I'm kind of old and grumpy. And with that, we're done. Thank you so much for being a part of the show for the day. It is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, as we wrap up this edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and I want to thank you so much for being with us on these jaunts here of the news. If you think what we're doing is pretty awesome, we need you to be a part of it. Number one, follow us on our feed so you can actually be a part of it, choosing the stories. Number two, we really need you to consider checking out our partnerships page or our sponsors to help keep us on the air, if you will. This is a labor, but a labor that takes resources, and I can use all the help going forward on that. And the most important thing about this is to Stay hydrated and stay limber and stay on task for the grand things you are put on this planet to do. We need you doing even more of them because it's been kind of a really, really rough ride for 2023 so far. About halfway through, at least, 10 days out from being halfway through the year. So we can celebrate some Christmas in July and maybe a better second half of the year if you're not doing so great. If you're doing great, spread some of that love to the rest of us. In the meantime, we are still posting news stories literally all day long. Every 50 minutes, find a new one on our feeds. Go to our feeds, engage in them, and tell me what I'm talking about tomorrow. 8 stories that you deem pretty conversational will be presented to you in this form, whether video or the audio playback. And you want to find more details about where we are and how to get the videos and how to get the playbacks and what's going on, you just go to our website and find it. Oh, we're going to have a big thing tomorrow since you stuck around this long. We're going to talk about a promotion. I wrote a book. Yay! I wrote a book under one of my other brands for business teaching. And so we're going to talk about a little promotion, a little extra help I need from you for that book come Friday. We'll get to that tomorrow.